Okay, so for this one, we're going to take this very simple pose to pose animation and we're going to make it a little more like snappy, smooth. There's going to be some anticipation and some overshoot. And I'm going to show you this in the most simple way that I know how. It's a very low effort way that can be good for beginners just getting started with animation to get something just a little more satisfying. And obviously you can push this a lot further than I'm going to show here, but I think it's a good starting point. Okay, so like I said, everything is set to constant interpolation, which if you select these and press T, it's this option right here. Just means that there's no transition between poses, these keyframes. By default, it's set to Bezier, and you can see it's a lot more just like easing into each keyframe. A lot of people like to work when it's set to constant because you don't get as distracted by like the in-between frames that you didn't tidy up yet. I like working this way too. So first we're gonna select everything with A, press T, and we're gonna change the interpolation back to Bezier right here. We're just going to define how long we want the transitions to be in between poses. For this one, I'll just do 3 keyframes. We'll just do that for each one to make it simple. So I'll select this first set of keyframes, just click the one at the top, Control C to copy it. You can press up to jump to the next keyframe and press back 3 times. And we're going to press Control V to paste that keyframe here. Now this transition should only be 3 frames. We're going to do that for each one. Same process. Control C, press up, back 3 times, Control V. You can press up twice if you want to jump like that. Copy this, back 3 times, Control V. Just do this over and over again like that until you reach the end of all your poses. So that's it right now. And now it will look like this, which is a little closer to the snappiest of the constant, but you do actually have real transitions. So it's already looking a little better. Now let's talk about overshoot. We're going to select this frame right here, duplicate it, push it 3 frames, and then these ones right here, press V. This is going to change the handle type. Set it to automatic right here. So now it'll have a little dot right here. Now, if we press up and down, you can see these poses are the same, but the difference is in between this one and the next, it will automatically overshoot a little like that. So now it looks like this. You see it shoots past a little before going back. And you can duplicate this like multiple times. So let's just Shift D, you can press 3 to move it 3 frames. Select this, V, automatic. So now it goes to this pose right here. It overshoots it a little, goes back to the same pose as all of these 3, and then it will overshoot a little more, and then it goes back. So it's just a little more springy like that. If you want, you can just do this over and over, and it will just gradually sort of fade out like that. So already you can see the power in this method to just make something really simple look a little more interesting, okay? A little more natural. So before I do that to all of them, I just want to talk about another way to do overshoot it's still a good method, like I like doing it. If you press T over here, we have this breakdowner tool, and if you long press, we have breakdowner, push, and relax. So I don't really use the tools here. I use them under the menu. So I'm going to set that back to select. So if we go to pose up here, there's an in-betweens option, and it gives us all of the shortcuts for these. So if you want to push, it's Control E. They're all something to do with E. So if you can't remember, just come up here or just try different modifier keys with E. But we have push, which is the one that I'm looking for. It's Control E. So we go right here and we can press Control E, and you can see it's going to allow us to push further. So I'll just set this to 100%, and I do have auto keyframing on. So if you don't, you can just like select everything and then press I to insert a keyframe. So now this will shoot forward and then go back. So this is a pretty similar way of working like that, but I find just setting it to automatic is usually a little better to start. But you could, if you wanted, you could just like do it the same way. You just do Control E. Let's get this. See if this lets us do the same thing. Yeah, Control E. So it's doing the same type of thing, but you're doing it more manually, and you have to sort of dial in how much you want. Okay, so let's talk about anticipation. It's basically the same process that we did with the automatic keyframes, except it's in reverse. It's to the starting pose. So instead of duplicating and moving forward, we duplicate it and move it back 3 frames. And then we set this one to automatic. So now before it goes to this pose, it's going to sort of wind up first by moving back a little, and then coming to this pose and then overshooting it. And let's add another one right here, another 2, and we'll just set these to automatic. Okay, so now sort of wind up like that. Now we can do this for every pose right here. So let's duplicate this, Shift D, 3. Let's change this to automatic. And usually if they're equally spaced like this, I will just Shift D, 3, and you can press Shift R to repeat the last action. And you can do that as many times as you want. So now we have the overshoot, where it bobbles a little at the end. And if we want the anticipation, I'll just duplicate this, -3, and we'll change this one to automatic with V. Now let's do the same thing for everything else. So I'm just gonna go through really fast, repeat everything. If you don't want to hear this, just skip ahead a little. But Shift D, 3, select this, V, change it to automatic. Let's select both of these, Shift D, 3, and I'll press Shift R just once. Same thing here, Shift D, -3, select this, V, set it to automatic. That's what we got for the little turn. Do it again over here. Shift D, 3, select this first one, change that to automatic. Shift D, 3, Shift R to repeat. So now we have the overshoot, Shift D, -3, select this, V, automatic, and we have our overshoot. Last one, Shift D, 3, this first one we set to automatic, Shift D, 3, Shift R, Shift D, -3, set this to automatic with V. And now we have this snappy animation with some follow through and anticipation. And it didn't take very long at all. I would say the next step to make it look a little more natural after this is to add secondary motion by making some things like the hands or the head. Basically, like the further you move away from the torso, we push those keyframes forward a little so that they like trail behind. This doesn't really have to do with overshoot, so it's out of the scope of the video, but it's a thing I've done in a lot of my videos, and it makes a big difference when you're trying to convey weight or like how like springy something is you want it to sort of drag behind a little. So the way that I would do this is I would select the head and the neck. You can just select everything and press G to move it like that, and just press 1 like that. So it moves it forward 1 keyframe. We can do the same thing with the head, just the head. So first I did both of them, and now I'll do just the head. So in total, the head will move 2 frames later, but I like to do this for chains where I select all of them and I slowly move them down. So now you'll see the head will sort of like trail behind, just lags a little bit. It's subtle. You can notice it mostly on the turns, like that. And you can see it too if you look in here. The neck 1 frame, the head is 2 frames ahead. We can do the same thing for the hands, or like for the arms rather. So I'm going to select all of the arm bones, and these are FK bones, but you could do the same thing with IK. You just like use the hand controller. So I'll select everything with A. We'll just press G and 1 like that. Now I'll deselect the bicep bones, G1. Basically, like I said, the further you move away from the body, you want it to take longer to catch up. So G1 for just the hands, and now the arms should trail behind a little bit. Only a little though, it's pretty subtle. You can push this quite a bit more if you want. Just select these and like push it 2 more frames. This is it a little more exaggerated. To explain what's really happening with these automatic keyframes, if you are interested, we can select one of the bones. I'm gonna select this like torso bone or whatever, shoulders, and then press Control Tab to go into the graph editor. And this might look a little scary at first if it's, you know, all jumbled up, but you can zoom out and just select one of the channels to look at. So I'll just select this one and press Shift H, and now it's the only one that we see. So if we press A to select everything, V, and change it to auto clamped, you can see that all of the keyframes, like the values are the same, but the shape of the line changed, and it's pretty much just because of the rotation of the handles like that. Auto clamped is gonna keep all of the handles completely horizontal like this, but automatic, the way I think of it is like looking at the next keyframe, or let's go back to auto clamped. The way I think about automatic is like it's rotating to sort of match the slope of the next keyframe to like point at it. Not exactly, like it's not exactly doing that, but that's the way I like to think about it. So when you do that, you get this sort of like this bump that happens before and also after, like, and then this one is going to sort of like match the rotation of the one before it like that. It's sort of like averaging between the two, that it's like matching the slope of the line. So if you wanted, you could sort of dial it in with auto clamped, but when you have it set to automatic, it's just doing that automatically by looking at like the rotation and stuff of the frames before it. And it ends up just giving you this sort of elastic bounce sort of thing. If you want, you could actually come in here, scale them up and down individually like that to change like how much it's really gonna overshoot. Like, you know, I could scale this down if I want it to be like less intense or whatever, but by default, it's going to just do it all automatically. You know, we could also like move this up or down like that, and it's going to also update the rotation and the scale of the handles nearby to sort of make it more just like natural looking, I guess. But yeah, that's how this process works. It's a pretty quick and easy way to get natural motion, and I hope it helps some of you. Goodbye.